On Saturday night, this man took 177 punches to the face and did not get knocked out.
Yeah.
He was 30 seconds away from finishing a fight that nobody thought he would be able to finish just 30 to 40 seconds into the fight. One of the toughest humans to ever be created or grace this earth from Milford. Jeez, I almost got it wrong. Can't do that. Because if I know anything about Milford, Massachusetts, they will come and beat the shit out of me.
Big old jaws.
Not just this guy. Ladies and gentlemen, Kris Moutinho.
Yeah!
Woo! How are you, dude?
I'm good, man. How are you?
How? Can I ask you just how you, have you always just been the toughest dude of all time? It looked like you were on like autopilot. Were you with it the entire time there? There was never any days or anything? That's unbelievable. You might have a world record for toughness.
According to my friends, I'm a pansy, so who knows? Who knows, man? It is what it is. It's another day in the office, and I'm just happy you all enjoyed the fight.
We absolutely loved it. Fight of the night, obviously. Congratulations on that, especially taking the fight late. I think the guy you were fighting, Sean, he's a good friend of our show. He wants to put on a show. It wants to be a performance. Without you, I don't know if that performance is anywhere near what it could have been, because he unloaded. And he said to us yesterday that every time he was punching you in the face, you would stand back up, get in his mouth, and talk shit to him, like call him like a bitch and everything like that. Is that just how you are all the time? Is that because Milford, Massachusetts, this is just kind of how life is?
Yeah, I don't know where you're from, man, but we're from Massachusetts, bro. Yeah. And you know how we are. If you're from any come out here, see these people. This is how we are, man. Like we talk shit. We love to get in each other's face, and it's just what I'm used to, man. It's what I'm used to at the gym with my boys, and it was just he brought it to that level, so I had to keep going.
It's awesome. We're from Pittsburgh, pretty similar place, I believe. There's a lot of shit talking. I think that's why we respect and appreciate it. We're talking to Kris Moutinho. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah, that's close enough. That's close enough.
No, I want to make it right, because I know that if we were to fight, even if I was to train and potentially get good at something, you would still beat the hell out of me and run right through everything. What is it? How is it pronounced?
It's Moutinho.
One more?
Moutinho.
Moutinho.
Yeah.
Kris Moutinho. Sorry about that. I got it wrong early. Thank you for joining us. So we saw the pictures of you at training on Monday morning after that whole thing. You went to the hospital after the fight? What happened post-fight after everything we saw to that picture we saw Monday morning of you back in training?
That was like I didn't want to go to the hospital. It was like a mandatory thing. Like I had to go to get checked out and just make sure I didn't have any brain bleeding. So it was just like a precautionary check. I was good. My brain was good. I just went. As soon as I got home, I was like, we gotta get going for the next one. So I'm just ready to go now. I'm gonna be in the gym all week and all next week, and we're gonna get ourselves ready for the next one.
What did the doctor say? Nothing wrong?
Nothing, man. I'm good. I'm clean, man. He don't hit that hard. Man. You gotta hit me with a bat. Hit me with a bat to get me out. So that's the way it is.
Have you ever been knocked out?
Yeah, I've been knocked out before. But it was never on my feet. You know what I mean? If I'm on my feet, you're not gonna drop me, man. That's just the way I feel. That's the way I believe. I believe in myself fully to the highest extent, man. You gotta hit me. You gotta really hit me to put me down.
Yeah, well, it was very evident on Saturday night, leading off the second biggest UFC pay-per-view in history, 1.8 million buys. Kris Moutinho out of Milford, Massachusetts. How'd you get into the fight game? You're a wrestler. I see now, like, I don't want to stereotype, but anytime you see the cauliflower, you immediately think to yourself, okay, this guy's high school experience was much different than mine. He was cutting weight. He was beating people up. He was wrestling. He was doing that whole thing. Is that how you got into it? And how did you find mixed martial arts?
Yeah, I was a very cliched like that, man. I wrestled in high school, and after high school, you're just drinking too much. You don't really have anything to do. You want to compete again. I wasn't good. I wasn't gifted with athleticism, so I couldn't play football, baseball, anything like that. So I found a gym open in my hometown, man, by a UFC fighter. His name is George Rivera. Got me into the sport and built me up and showed me what I needed to do to get to these levels in this sport. And from there on, I was stuck, man. I was a gym rat from there on, man. I've been in all different gyms all across the country and all over the world, and I'm just excited and blessed to be finally here.
Your style is just to put pressure on people at all times. Is that your style at every single fight? Is that what we should expect whenever we see you there? I mean, it was bang, pow, boom, boom, boom. You're a bitch. Just bang, 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 bang. Fuck you. There was 3 to 4 different times we were certain there was no way this human was going to remain standing. I mean, we all watched it together. It was a late night. It was is that your style? Are you a guy who likes to get hit, does get hit, not scared to get hit, and is just always going to put pressure and take risks? Like, what is your full style?
Yeah, for sure, man. I like to push the pace. I like to make it a fight. I like to be in your chest, and I'm used to being in there with bigger dudes than Sean. You know what I mean? My training partners most of my life growing up were heavyweights and 85ers and middleweights. So when you get hit by them, man, the little guys don't feel the same. You know what I mean? So it's just what I'm used to, man. I'm used to being in your face and being in your chest. If I got to take a shot to give a shot, I'll do it, and it's usually pays off. This time I kind of turned into a hockey fight and it didn't go my way. You know what I mean? This is what happens sometimes, man. Sometimes you got to take those ass whoopings, and it's something I'm very comfortable doing, man. I'm okay with winning and losing as long as I know I put a good account for myself.
Well, I want to let you know, Kris, it doesn't matter if you win or lose. For all of us as fans, anybody that gets in there is a badass, obviously. So big thank you for even stepping in there and taking the fight on late notice. I think after talking to you and watching you fight, there was zero chance of you turning that down, right? You were just waiting and waiting and waiting for that moment? Or how did the fight come about? Was there any other plans you had? Were you training for a fight already?
Yeah, actually, I was supposed to be fighting in August down in Mississippi for CFFC, and it kind of like came as like maybe we'll get a shot. Like his opponent pulled out. My manager was like, "It's a long shot, man. We'll just throw your name in there, see what happens." And then literally like 2 days later, I was getting DMs from random people telling me I'm gonna get knocked out, I'm gonna get beat up, I'm gonna die, all this other stuff, and I didn't even get the answer yet. 3 seconds after that, my manager hit me up and he was like, "Yo, you got to make weight, man. This is your chance. This is your opportunity, and let the cards fall where they may." You know what I mean?
Hey, the die thing's a big deal, huh? Especially in a fight game, because that's potential. Like, that has probably happened before in cages and stuff like that. Is it or is it not? Because Sean said yesterday, which was fascinating, he said some people say Conor crossed the line. Who's deciding where the line is, though, and especially in the fight game? Is the die thing, because you mentioned it there, and since it's become something with the way the Dustin and Conor thing happened, is that one of those unwritten rules in the fight game, or is it just no holds barred?
I think every clown says, "Oh, we're putting our life on the line. We're putting our life on the line." It's really not, man. There's people going to war every day, really putting their life on the line. So I find it pretty disrespectful when this is something we do for fun. I do this for fun. I go to the gym every day. I get punched in the face for fun, man. If I really thought my life was on the line, man, there's a ref in there to tell me when to stop. You obviously saw it. He stopped it when he thought my life was on the line, and I didn't think my life was on the line. You know what I mean? So there's somebody in there. There's always things. Very rarely does that ever happen, man. It happens, but very, very rarely. So I don't know. People do more dangerous things just and not get paid for it, man. So I don't see that. But hey, teach his own.
Yeah, and you also said earlier, I'm from Milford, Massachusetts. All right, we say some terrible shit to each other. I mean, that is just what we do. You were working in a paint factory. Is that real? That was your full-time job, and then you would just go train and then fight and then back to the paint factory? And what did you do in the paint factory? You were all gassed up or gas masked up, or were you just eating those things, eating those fumes on a daily basis?
Yeah, we eating those fumes. 70, 80 hours a week, man, working a line, filling paint cans, then trying to go train afterwards, training 7, 8 days a week, you know what I mean? 7 days a week, just working, man. And that's what my life was for the last 6, 7 years, you know what I mean? And then literally a month before this fight, I decided I'm going to commit my whole life to this. I'm going to quit my job. I can't do this no more. I'm going to train. I'm going to start my own business. I'm going to start personal training and all that stuff. Literally a month after that, I'm in the UFC and enjoying my life, doing what I love to do. And the only thing I've ever loved to do. I've never loved anything else. I love getting smacked across my face, and I love smacking other humans across their face and seeing whose brain pops out of their head first. Man, this is what I love to do, and this is what I'm gonna do until my body can't do it no more.
Let's go.
Yeah!
That's an American dream story right there, Kris. Legit. Like, that is so cool to hear. Connor, we have a Massachusetts stooge here, too. And as soon as he saw you, because we're a sports show, but we're the dumbest of all time. We didn't do enough research. We knew Sean was fighting somebody. We knew it was some last minute. As soon as it popped up that you were from Milford, Massachusetts, our Massachusetts stooge went, oh, no, hey, he's got a Milford jaw. He literally said that as soon as it said your name and where you were from. And then as we were watching it, it was like fucking Connor.
Yeah.
Scouting fighters of the year here. What do you have, Connor?
Yeah, Kris, I saw you mentioned that you were bummed that Herb Dean stopped the fight and you wanted to go out on your shield, as you put it. Do you have a conversation with the refs like, hey, I got the greatest jaw on the planet, so you don't have to stop this. If I'm knocked out, you'll know, but don't worry, I won't be? Or do you just kind of hope that he knows that?
He should know that, man. I've seen that dude let other guys go in a lot worse situations. You know what I mean?
177 punches to the face.
A lot worse than that, man. You can go watch the fights. Go watch my boy Calvin versus Max Holloway. Go watch it. He looked like he was gonna fucking die in that fight, and he let him keep going. Rory McDonald versus Robbie Lawler, where Rory's face and nose is smashed into his brain, and he looks like he's gonna die. And they let that fight keep going until he couldn't go anymore. So this is what I'm saying, man. I'll take mine. If I go out on my own and it's my choice, let me go out on my own. And that's just the way I feel about it. But hey, he made his decision, he made his choice, and I was gonna lose that fight regardless, so it doesn't really matter to me. A loss is a loss to me, and it's gonna hurt regardless.
Okay, so I think we were all incredibly impressed. And if you would have, I think our initial response, even as Sugar friends and fans, we were like, oh, let the guy finish at least.
Yeah.
Let this thing go. I think everybody's immediate reaction was, and then me being somebody who is outside, I watch the pay-per-views. I don't know enough about the weeds of the MMA world. I started getting people and seeing people's tweets that were like, and then I heard Sean say, that's a lot of head damage that just happened. It is something where that's a fine balance in your sport that doesn't have to happen anywhere else. And I appreciate the fact you're like, yeah, it's just kind of the way it is or whatever. What a fucking show there. When you see that Herb Dean's going to be the ref. So in our sport, in football, the team, not that it matters from my position, but the team knew the refs that were going to be in. And it was like, okay, this is a holding penalty ref crew here. They look for this. Pass interference, there's a potential big plays because they call this. You just rattled off those. Did you know those fights going in with him being the ref and knew like, okay, this is potentially going to be one where as long as I can withstand it, this is going to go all 15 minutes? Or is this afterwards when you're pissed off about him stopping it, you learn about you go, this didn't happen? Is this pre-research or is this afterwards that you're kind of pissed off that he stopped it?
It's a little bit of both. You know what I mean? Like, I know Herb. Everybody knows Herb. He's like the best ref in the UFC. Everybody loves Herb, and I still have nothing bad to say about him, man. He still seems like a really good dude, who's a great human being, and he made his choice. That's just what it is. But you know what I mean? I've just seen it too many times, man. I've seen it too many times. I've seen too many fighters get their shot. I've seen too many fighters get to go out on their sword, get to go out on their shield, and I just feel like I should have got that, man. And look at me now. I'm still training. I'm in the gym.
Hey.
The other guy's laid up for 6 months. I don't know what to tell you, man. I took 200 punches. I'm good, man. I'm good. Somebody else is fucked up, though. It's not me.
It's so funny that, people say in fighting, you got your hands are your weapons and your feet are your weapons, and your face is an actual weapon.
Oh yeah,
it broke hands.
Yeah.
Your face is a weapon. It's amazing to watch. Go ahead, Ty.
Kris, I assume when you sign like the fight, when you're a fill-in like that, it's only a one-fight deal. Have you talked to Dana White at all about like, is your next fight going to be in the octagon? You just alluded to it. Do you have any type of medical suspension, or are you looking to get back in there, as soon as possible?
I got a 60-day suspension. So I got a 60-day just for my own safety, make sure I don't get any more brain damage just because.
Smart.
But yeah, I got a 4-fight deal with the UFC. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. But I got a 4-fight deal even when I signed that contract. So I was always gonna get another shot back in the UFC, and I'm just excited, man, because I think it was because of how big the fight was, and taking it on against such a tough opponent. Like Sean is a really tough opponent. He's really good. He's really talented. High level cat. So I was always gonna get another fight in UFC. It's just now I got to make them count, man. Because like I don't care what it is, how great how much smoke everybody's blowing up my ass, man. It's still a loss. A loss is a loss, and you can't do too many of those, even if they're great fights.
Yeah, well, I mean, Kris, I don't recommend this, but I'm not Dana White either, okay? But if we got a guy who's going to go out and eat 200 punches, I mean, that is like a UFC fan's dream because all anybody wants is to see people throw and see people fight. Like, now, granted, there's the people, I want to see technicality and the jiu-jitsu and everything like that. And I assume, by the way, that you are highly skilled in all of that and you will only continue to get better and everything. But your fight was, Chris Lytle is in Indiana, and we got a chance to meet him for a bit there, and I actually trained with him twice, and then I stopped because I got both of my arms broken, okay, and I'm not gonna, I tapped out with a double arm bar, so I'm not gonna go in there. But his fight of the night, he never got knocked out, never got submitted in 30-some fights, man. I would never recommend you to do that, but I think you are gonna be a gift to Dana, and Dana might not have known that before the fight, but now he's like, we got a guy all of a sudden, so we're here for you. Do you have any nicknames? You have a nickname, or are you just Kris Moutinho?
I just go by Kris, but it's soulless. I try to show the world that I'm fucking soulless all the time, man. But all that stuff's crazy, man. I'm gonna try to put on fights of the night every time I get in this cage, man, and be that guy. But I just gotta win, man. That's the only difference. I'm gonna put on fight of the night every time. I'm gonna break that fight of the night record, and I think it's like 15. So 15 fights of the night, and then we'll worry about where I go after that.
Hey, can't get knocked out. You don't have a soul. The soulless Kris Moutinho. We can't thank you enough, brother.
Yeah.
Have a good one, Kris. Woo! That was a cool conversation.
Yeah.
American dream.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I was working in the paint factory, 70, 80 hours. No, just bottling or bucketing paint, I guess, in the line, he said. And the fact that is just literally machinery work.
Oh, yeah.
And then 7 days a week training, then he quits, and then he goes and does it. That's awesome. I mean, Herb Dean, I think. I mean, after everybody started, like, adamantly saying, like, you know, after Sean pointed out that's a lot of head damage, I was like, you're right, I guess. Yeah. And Herb Dean has to, like, kind of sleep with that, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I let this guy just go ahead and get that whole thing. But what a performance by his face.
Yes.